What's up, dude?
Are you talking to me or the listener?
I'm just saying, what's up, dude?
You're just saying that to yourself.
Feel free to
What's
respond
up,
to that, anybody. That goes out to anyone.
Welcome to Franchise Mutiny. I'm Isaac. Joining me in today's discussion, two people, one named Eric and one named Michael. How are you both?
What's up? I'm Michael's dad.
Dad, you promised you wouldn't tell him that we're related so early on.
I'm sorry.
So, do you prefer Eric or Michael's dad?
It's easier to say Eric, so I think you should probably just stick with that.
You address other people's parents as this person's dad to them. Just be like, oh, hey, Michael's dad.
Yes.
Do you mind if
Don't
I
you
say
forget
you're
it.
Michael's
And
dad?
make sure you only refer to me as dad. Make sure you only refer to me as Michael's dad. Don't get it mixed up, by the way, because it's going to be rough.
Yeah, that would be rough. Imagine.
You know, because he's your dad.
Yeah, old man raised me to be a keen eye on these kinds of things. So, what can I say?
All right, what are we talking about today? 'Cause you don't have any time to stall anymore. What are we talking about today?
Okay, so yeah, this is... So neither of you know what this episode's about.
No.
And I'm very thankful that you allowed this to happen, and I'm sorry so far. Episode 8.
Yeah.
We did it. Episode 8.
Okay, you already did it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's I called that
I'm
like
trying to
3
remember.
minutes ago. I said that. I was like, you did, didn't you? And you just stared at me. You just locked eyes like a frightened ghost. Ghosts don't have eyes.
So since this is the first time both of you are on the show, is there anything you want to say to the listener that they should know about you? Well, we know one's the father of the other, but...
As I previously stated, I'm Michael's father. There's not a lot you need to know about me more than just... Fucking never mind. I don't have anything else, to be honest. This is not an improv show. This is a show for episode 8, which is yet to be
This is a show for episode 8.
It's already made. You don't have like aspirations or anything.
Yeah,
you don't have
dreams.
You don't have any like.
Dude, I don't dream anymore.
Jesus.
You can't or you won't allow it.
That's a rabbit hole.
Let's get into it. Let's fucking as an episode that's introducing people and only introducing people. I think
So
this
far.
is what we've. So far, this can transform into anything. Let's start here then.
I don't.
I find it great that I get a text from the boy saying, "Hey, you want to come be on a podcast?" And then I show up, and instantly, it's my podcast. So
Why'd you invite your dad here?
I wanna reset. Hold on, we're gonna wipe right here, and we're gonna start all over.
Okay.
Welcome to Michael's Father's podcast.
Michael's father. Is there a name for it, or is it just
It's Michael's Father's podcast. I already said that. We're gonna continue on from this point, and today we're gonna be talking about dad things.
Dad things.
So we're gonna start by talking about optimal grill technique. So it kind of depends on what you're doing here, but we're gonna start off by some examples, saying that you're grilling a live a human, and like my boy Michael over here. You want to make sure that you get it cooked thoroughly and everything like that, because you don't want to get one of those foodborne illnesses. That's some rough shit.
What are you talking about? Food? You're not going to cook me, right? That's not what you're talking about, right?
No, of course not.
Okay. This is just an example, like an
Yeah.
analogy or something.
Yes.
Okay.
But we always want to make sure that we got perfect circulation in the grill. Make sure it's up to an optimal heat, because the thing about grilling is you want to make sure the entire purpose of the grilling is to char, is to create a fine crust in order to complete
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a little graphic. For
Yes.
Me. I gotta say, it's making me.
Well, listen,
comfortable.
I got to keep going because that's what Michael's father's podcast is about.
But that's you. That's your podcast. You have the choice. It sounds like you have the hand in the executive.
I
decision
also
here.
have a responsibility to my fans to make sure I
Your
deliver
fans?
the most. Yes.
This is your first podcast.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
You don't know that.
That's
Uh,
true. I don't. That's true. I've learned a lot of things about this
And,
podcast recently.
By the way, the past 7 episodes of this podcast have all been Michael's father's podcast.
It's all been retcon.
yeah.
Is Michael's father's podcast.
So, anyway, back to what I was saying before my son rudely interrupted me. You want to make sure it's plenty hot because the entire point of grilling is a quick, thorough cook.
Do you want to give him a real
Now,
temperature? Or
You're gonna no. Here's the thing, right?
approximate
Like
this?
so. You set it to the highest temperature you have, which, you never know what it could be because grills are stupid and they have multiple settings. But, like, you set to your highest thing, it's probably going to be something around, like, 500 degrees or something like that.
Like
600 maybe.
Yeah, 600.
But, like, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take the person or food that you are cooking.
Right.
You're going to get some butcher's twine. You're going to wrap them, tie them all up into the nice, like, compact package because you don't want them to move around on the grill because when they move around,
these really
it
graphic.
starts to, like, cause issues and, like, it won't cook the right way. So you need to make it completely still.
Dad,
Yeah.
you're really using some, like, these are graphic as shit, man. Like, I need you to, can
Is
we
this
back-
normal?
Can we take a break? Yeah, no, this is completely normal, but it's
Okay.
just,
And you thought, hey, I should bring this.
I didn't think anything. This
You invited
entirely, this was his thing planned way before I even invited him. He somehow knew.
He's been waiting to
He has been.
infiltrate a podcast, and then
He's like that purple thing from that one movie that just
Grimace?
came out. Yeah, no.
that purple thing.
Oh, yeah.
Grimace is a good kid.
I thought you meant you wanted me to grimace right now. And I'm like, I'm not.
Grimace? Frown?
I'm never going to barbecue again, Dad. Ever.
Not after I'm done.
Jesus, it's so.
So, Michael, anything you want to say? Any dreams or aspirations?
Well, I mean, I wasn't expecting such a change in I mean, this is a brand new
format.
show. I mean,
Yeah.
this is.
Do you want to change the show?
Do I want to change the show?
Yeah.
I mean, do I have?
That's
Is that
okay.
is that cool with you, Dad? Are you cool with switching it up a little bit here?
Yeah, you can retcon it again. It's no longer Michael's father's podcast anymore.
He's family podcast, handing it down
Family
to the
Life
son.
Podcast. Yeah, that's we're now a Christian.
What's your podcast about?
It's a Christian. This is a Christian podcast now. We
Okay,
promote
yeah.
utmost family Christian values. Sure,
Continue.
absolutely, yeah. Today we're going to talk about the sanctity of marriage,
Okay.
and
Between.
well, usually it's between a man and a woman, and not just a 45-year-old single, 3-time divorced,
Continue.
motherfucker who wants to charbroil his kid at the next family barbecue. But today we're going to talk about how Jesus can fix that.
I'm sensing some hostility.
No, you're sensing some neglectful child. All right, that's what you're sensing. It just took you like 20 years to finally fucking feel it.
Jesus sounds familiar. Can you? It's on the tip of my tongue.
He's
Who's-
Mormon. It's a
who's he?
Mormon thing. Basically, they
Jesus.
believe there's this guy. Yeah, basically there's this guy, right? He came
Okay.
from like
This guy.
Iowa or something. I don't know. But anyway, he's got a planet, right?
Okay.
And when you die, you will also
Get a planet.
get a planet. Okay, don't interrupt me, Dad. Okay, you had your show. Okay. What were we talking about?
Planets.
Right, Jesus.
This is where I
has. We all get planets like Jesus, basically. That's what the Mormons say about him. Anyway, that's all I know. That's the extent of it. Oh, and sometimes he'll do like calisthenics or whatever. It's really
Yes.
weird and specific.
Like Titanic.
Was that?
Titanic.
Is that what that movie's about?
Yeah, it's about Jesus.
Shit. I was watching that as a porno. That's weird. Like softcore. Do you know what I mean? Like
That movie has a hell of a lot of build-up.
Yeah,
No
it really
payoff.
is a softcore porno in a lot of ways. We shouldn't be talking about movies, right? That's not what this is. This is.
Oh.
No, this is about grills. I already brought that up.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about grills, and it didn't sound like you
Well,
did
they're
either,
hot. They're
Dad.
hot, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. I don't know, like 600 degrees maybe. I don't know.
Okay, so I'll take the podcast back.
Thank you.
Hand it over. How's the sound that makes?
That wasn't anything.
That was.
You're gonna have to add that sound in post, bro.
Then yeah, that is a very hefty sound.
I'm gonna go get my slide whistle. I'll use that.
Slide whistle, the heftiest sound there.
This podcast could use a lot of slide whistle. I think this could
also use
benefit
a lot of
from
editing.
a shit ton of slide whistle. You know.
Does your podcast have a theme song?
Not yet. Let's
all
do it.
Let's go to Party City and get some kazoos and some slide whistles.
Yeah, I did want to do kazoos for this. I actually did bring up kazoos the first time I was here. I'm sorry, this is my first time here, but in a past life, I brought it up to Isaac, and it totally...
Our first production meeting.
Sorry, alternate reality. I'm getting all these things mixed up.
We had several production meetings leading to this episode. We prepped very hard for it.
Is that what those are called? I thought those were alternate realities. I thought that's what that meant.
Those were the first drafts of Michael's father's podcast.
You weren't even around for like half of my life, Dad. Now you fucking show up now that I found a podcast. Alright.
Yeah, and who invited me?
I invited you only because I needed to reconnect with the guy who hasn't been present for most of my life.
Why would you choose here to do that?
What do you mean, why would I choose here?
There's any other place.
He would never go anywhere with me unless it had to do with Michael's father's whatever, insert thing here, okay?
So you're saying
we've tried this before. Barbershop shit. We had Michael Father barber. Then we fucking had a school for a little bit, but then he was doing fraud. He got investigated for doing a bunch of...
But it was a lot of cooking classes.
There was a cooking class. We had a culinary... Michael's dad's culinary school for bastards. Like, it was just, like, thing after thing. And every single time he started to realize that I'm a failure as a son, he would just leave. And this is, like, in a way, my last-ditch effort to get this guy to fucking care.
I'm glad you didn't mention Michael's father's cross-country caravan trip because I was about to get real heated.
Well, that one took too long to say, so I just thought you could say it. What are we on, 5 minutes into this?
Yeah. Well, no, more like 12.
Nice,
so, yeah, no.
So we have like 2 more hours?
This might have been a mistake not telling you what this episode's about, because listener knows, or our listener knows.
Is that what
they know from the title what this is supposed to be about, and they should be thoroughly
thermally
heated.
You're right.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, so 4/20/2018, what happened?
I got really high.
Okay.
What about you?
Who? Are you... It looked like you were pointing at me but looking at him, so I was confused.
It was kind of the opposite. But
It was actually the opposite. That's the funniest part of that. That was the exact opposite of what happened.
I don't know. I probably slept.
Okay.
So what were you saying?
It was pretty...
No, I was at work. Yep.
He was at work.
I was at work at the butcher's, playing with my meat.
Okay, are you done, Dad? Or can we finish hearing what this guy, this polite elf, has to say? I don't know why I called you an elf. I just had to throw something out there fast, because otherwise it would have been dead air. So
it's okay. You can edit it.
Yeah, you can edit that in post.
Yeah, okay, that's the one thing.
Make it sound like I said something offensive.
Yeah, something mean.
Something horrible.
Can we hear what this...
And then,
ADR, this fine gentleman has to say.
Awesome. I'd ADR this podcast. Absolutely.
So, historical day, 4/20/2018.
Day of pot.
What?
Nothing. Go on.
That's what that day... I was saying for no reason, 4/20/2018, of course, is when the Netflix thought it would be great to release the first season of Spy Kids Mission Critical. So I did, episode 1 of the podcast was talking about all the Spy Kids movies, and I thought that was going to be it, and the completionist I am.
We'll get to you, Dad.
I don't feel safe anymore.
Go on.
I have recently watched all 10 episodes of Spy Kids Mission Critical, and that is what today's episode's going to be about. Spy Kids. What do you guys know? What have you seen? What have you heard? What have you done? What have you served?
I personally have seen all 4 of the main series Spy Kids movies. I'm not kidding, but I do have to point out, if you haven't seen Spy Kids 4, which I can't remember what it's called, but it's...
All the Time in the World.
Yes, thank you. That movie is genuinely hilarious, and you would be smart to watch that with a friend at one point.
It's actually great.
There is not a line in that movie that goes by without the characters making a pun about time.
Yes.
That's amazing.
The movie, here, I'm going to give you a brief rundown.
Yes.
It's about this man, who's this bad guy, who steals this device, and what the device does is when he uses it, it moves time forward. It just, like, speeds all the shit up, so it's, like, going. Okay? They have to stop him from moving time forward because he's going to turn time forward so far that they're going to run out of time.
Yeah. That...
Oh my god.
That movie is a masterpiece.
That's insane.
I forget, in the episode that we covered Spy Kids, we counted how many times they said the word time in the movie.
How many times?
I think it was like 126 or something in like an 88-minute movie. That movie felt so long. There was an actual twist in that movie that legitimately got me. But it was also a very dumb and gross movie. I would say very gross. A lot of vomit.
Was it gross? Were you puking?
I haven't seen it in like three years, I want to say. I probably saw it like when it was first released on Netflix because I watched it with a friend. The movie, like he said, is like 88 minutes long. I'm pretty sure we spent 3 hours watching it because we kept pausing it to like talk about it the entire time because we were just so dumbfounded by what we were watching. But I can't remember if it was gross or not, but I'll take your word for it.
There was a lot of bags of vomit being thrown and exploding and poop just exploding on bad guys, and it was gross. Michael, have you seen the Spy Kids franchise? What do you know?
I've seen up to 3. I fucking loved the first 2 as a kid. The third one's, I didn't like it as much. I think I like the first one because it's actually a pretty solid movie, I think. It's
Spy Kids 1 isn't a bad movie.
It's not a bad movie. Yeah. It's pretty fine. It's pretty alright. The second one I like just because of the whimsy and the weirdness. It reminded me a lot of like an old school Harryhauser like film, but with CGI and shitty but it was fun. It was like a fun. I don't know. I enjoyed that.
It was like super campy. It was just like entertaining to watch, just because it looked like so fake. But like it was because it was like the beginning of the CGI renaissance when they still didn't know how to like make shit in CGI. Yeah. So it all just looked super goofy.
They're like, what have we used before in movies? We got skeletons. We fight some skeletons. We got animals. We can do like farm animals, but just like mix them up or something. And then we can do like a whole what is that movie? The Island of Wiseau or Dr. Wiseau or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Dr. Moreau. The Island.
That's definitely a different movie, dude. There's no way we're talking about the same movie.
You're talking about Spy Kids, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying it reminded me of that. The Isle of Dr. Magoo. Dr.
Magoo. Yeah, Doctor. He's a...
Where they turn into wolf.
Professor Magoo.
Professor Magoo. The third one I didn't care for. I saw it in theaters, and it was kind of lame. It hurt my eyes because of the 3D.
And then it was the first 3D movie I ever saw. I saw it in theaters.
Yeah. I think it was the first 3D movie I saw, too.
I thought it was the baddest shit in the entire world, and then I saw it when I was at home, and I'm like, this movie isn't as cool as it was when I was, like 6 years old or however old I was when it came out.
Yeah, I don't remember if I actually liked it. I think I enjoyed... seeing like all of them team up at the end because I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. They brought everyone in it for like 5 seconds.
They're all gonna fight Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, that was kind of cool, but the rest of it was like, oh, this is a lot.
So what would you guys expect from a Spy Kids TV show or Netflix show, I should say?
I would expect it's a lot like All the Time in the World and nothing like the other ones, because that's my only frame of reference, because I haven't seen the other 3 Spy Kids movies probably since like was 10 years old or something like that. Whenever the last one came out, maybe.
I bet they did something. Either they did something drastically different, or they did kind of they did something drastically different, or what did they do something more what Eric's
We'll
talking?
get.
Okay, because I think they would try and redo a lot of things. I don't know what they would do. I mean, if one thing to me, like, I don't know what they did, but it sounds like it should be an animated thing. It sounds like they would do something like that, but, or I don't know, they probably ham it up a lot and make it super, like, stupid, like, for babies, I imagine. They probably wouldn't do anything, like, with the original. The original was really weird, because it was almost like Vor, to an extent. I mean, it was...
Oh, yeah. Remember when they got smashed inside of the Thumb costumes?
Yeah,
and shit?
yeah, and then like mutating the people's like a body horror, like
Yeah.
it was very like Cronenberg to an extent. So I doubt they would keep that because that's not going to sell anymore. People, I mean, that'll sell for like older kids, but I imagine like they're probably looking at the fourth movie and they're like, all right, yeah, what is our demographic for this now?
Well,
And I think the safer one is just appealing to like little kids, not like young teens.
and I gotta ask, and I don't know if you're ready to reveal it or not, but is it like episodic or is it like a serial? Because if it's more like Scooby-Doo style, I wanted to imagine it's like Scooby-Doo but with Spy Kids, where it's just like a villain of the week type thing, where they gotta send the OSS kids to go snatch them up or something.
I would think that's probably...
Or if it's like a TV mini-series, like Game
Yeah.
of Thrones 15-minute episodes, you know, fully fleshed out characters and all that.
I would think it's that one. I think there's more with... I think there's probably more you could have like a big baddie you're building up to for the season, and then you have like all these little like bosses. I imagine it's probably style like that, but I don't know. We'll find out.
Alright, yeah. Well,
Dad.
if you guys are up for a father-son activity of watching the first episode,
I just want a hug. That's all I've wanted ever.
I can't offer that. I'm sorry.
well, in place of that, we'll just watch the first episode together.
Oh, okay, that's what we're...
If you're up for that.
I'm up for it, yeah.
I mean, I've sacrificed a good 4.5 hours watching
Oh, Jesus.
this
Never
show.
do that again, Isaac. Okay, that's bad for your mental health, okay?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I really came off as someone mentally
You
unstable.
did,
Just
you were...
yeah.
He had
Yeah.
the book pressed against his
That
head.
was the most genuine yes I've ever said. Yeah, Spy Kids.
Alright, Spy Kids.
I've seen all 10 episodes.
Let's see all 10 episodes right now.
You're about to watch the first one again.
So we'll be right back with a 15-second plot synopsis of Spy Kids. Mission Critical.
Spider Kids. Mission
Impossible.
2.
So-
Ghost Critical.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise tries to kill himself again.
Come.
Cruise breaks his, like, all his feet.
All of his feet
All of his feet.
and his toes.
We'll be right back.
Please get my dad's approval for me. Someone, please.
We'll be right back.
Dad,
We'll be right back.
please.
Toes.
And we'll be right back. And we're back.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, Isaac here with Eric and his son Michael.
What's up?
Also, Emma's here.
Emma here.
Thank you for giving me some work to do.
Yeah, I remember there was the one part of the old podcast where I said her name like 6 times in a row, and it was just this long bleep. It was like, Emma bleep, Emma bleep, Emma
Yeah,
bleep.
it was constant.
Yeah, it was like...
That took me a while. I don't know what you're referencing. Is this the alternate timeline?
This is the alternate time.
Okay.
Dadman, do you want to talk about the show?
So
what
let's start with the 15-second plot synopsis
Right.
of Spy Kids Mission Critical. We just saw episode 1. I've seen all of them, and now you know what kind of pain and suffering.
Kind of weird, sick shit you're into.
Yeah. Do you wanna sit at the table?
No,
Okay.
she hates podcasting almost as much as she hates
Keep going.
her kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her kid.
That one.
Is she related to you?
Who's her
You guys-
kid in this timeline?
Am I the only
It's
one that's
Isaac.
alone here?
I think you're her son.
And you're telling me this now?
I'm telling you this now because I love you. Alright. And and I trust that you need a
Now,
rental unit.
Emma, are you a spy?
Kid.
I really want to be a spy kid. So in order for that to happen, you got to be a spy. Are you a spy?
Yes.
Is my father a spy?
No.
Okay, half spy kid.
You're a
You're
spy,
not a-
Harry.
I'm a spy kid. Okay.
What do you say? 15-second plot synopsis. Or something? I don't remember.
Yeah, sure.
I watched this like 5 minutes ago. I can't.
Do you want me to
remember
do
what
it?
happened.
I got one. If
Or
you want
no,
to.
go for
You
it.
give a detailed one because you probably have one.
You probably
It's,
have
it's,
one, yeah.
it's the very basic premise of it because I don't want to get into spoilers. I know everyone really wants to
Yeah,
know
we
what
don't
happens.
want to get into that.
What happens to Golden Brain?
Okay, so that is his name. I just couldn't.
It's like a James Bond villain.
I'll do a 15-second count while you're reading it.
He'll pretend to do that though.
No, I'll do it out loud.
Okay. Supervillain Golden Brain has forced every spy into hiding, leaving kids Junie and Carmen to lead a team of super spies under the name Mission Critical with the goal of defeating the nefarious foe and the hopes of acing their midterms.
Wait, what was that really part of the plot?
Yeah, I don't remember the
There-
midterm.
I don't
remember the
thing at
midterm
all.
thing.
Midterms is
That was not
is
a thing.
they have to study for the mind bender leadership test. That was one of the main plots of the later episodes. And so watching kids study, find a quiet place and study, that's what you want in a kid show about spies. And that's I think there's a lot of potential in this show that you guys need to think about.
Well, I'm thinking about it right now, and honestly, it was terrible. I was like concentrated garbage.
You sure about that?
Well, we laughed at like one joke. There was one joke we actually laughed at genuinely. I forgot what it was.
It was when the guy rappels up through the ceiling and
Yes.
just breaks through
Oh
the
yeah, and
ceiling.
then Junie's like, I like him. Yeah, that was all kind of funny. But other than that, it was a weird like mix of new things, new ideas with the first movie. That was confusing as all hell.
I do like the connection to the third brain bit. That's at least something they drop a reference in, but it's only from like the first movie. I don't.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be any connection to anything else in this franchise. Or also, fuck Spy Kids 4 apparently, because none of that has anything to do with this. That's non-canonical. I'm
It's
pretty
also
sure
with different kids.
different kids, but also Junie and Carmen were all grown up in that.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
They showed up for a little bit.
Really, really.
The,
Well, then-
the mistake.
So this would take place before Spy Kids 4, then technically.
Okay, so it could still happen.
It's kind of like Clone Wars was for Star Wars, where it takes place in between like the big movies, so
Mhm.
it's up for like all sorts of weird. Like,
This is the
grabs.
big. There should have been scenes in like Spy Kids 4. They're like, oh, remember Spy Academy when we had to take down Golden Brain? Oh, that was tough. He killed all our friends. Ace.
We killed all our
He
friends.
killed all our friends.
Oh, he
Ace,
killed all-
Sir, awesome. He had to kill one of them.
Now, all these names sound like usernames for a video game. Yeah, they're
Glitch?
real people. Yeah,
that was her
Glitch.
name.
That was her name.
Yikes.
The worst character in this whole
Really,
series.
If by
really
worst you mean
painful.
best.
He liked her because she was a tumblerina.
I liked her
That
because
was-
it was. Did you see like when she introed?
Yeah.
That was way too much to take in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
I think she walked in and dropped like 5 memes before I even had a chance to breathe.
That is what she did. She was like the Flash. She was moving super quick. And
She
it
was. She
That's-
went in.
was pissing me off.
Happens.
She hacked the
over and
government
over
and
again.
gained all the knowledge of everything.
Yeah, she was hacking everything, and she was like,
Yeah,
"Let me real
she's like,
quick."
I set up a private email server and all that shit.
Yeah.
Because the OSS apparently can't do that. They have to leave that to like a 12-year-old.
No, did they talk about the OSS firewall like later in the series to help kind of strengthen
She
that
does
plot
break
hole?
through the firewall.
She
at
breaks
one
through the
point.
firewall. Okay,
Very
is she
easily.
running Java or what are we using here?
C++. I don't
C++.
know.
I almost took a C++ course this summer, but
Ooh, that's
Didn't do
not
it.
Fun.
No.
Yeah, don't do that.
didn't do it.
Oh, okay.
I'm surprised she didn't do that in the show. That
I should
That
have
caught me
dabbed on
off
the
guard.
show.
Oh, my
Yeah.
favorite line she says in this series,
What are
and I
those?
had to write it down. It seems like a line that like one of us would write as like a complete joke, but this felt very genuine. she
I'm sure it was delivered at the most dramatic time possible.
no, it was like the beginning of a scene, and it's just them hanging out, and she's showing Carmen something on her tablet, and she says, "LOL, I love viral videos," and she says it so genuinely.
I think this episode's crazy because Carmel and June have like this
Carmel and June.
this weird pissing contest, and they have all these like elite
That's my favorite
Spy
Baskin
Kids.
Robbins flavor.
What?
Caramel and June.
pissing contest. I go to Bastard Robbins because my father doesn't love me.
That's
Dadman over here
Dadman,
makes
yeah.
me a
Dadman.
sadman, and it's
Are you going to explain this Dadman joke? Because you're going to keep mentioning it over and over again.
yeah.
No one's going to know what the fuck you're
so
talking
there was
about.
a point in the show. I mean, you know, my father's
Like
being
the
a real
first 3 minutes.
real son of a bitch right now, but you know, there's a point in the show where they make some kind of weird Batman and Robin thing where June is like, Banderas, here's a holy, you know, mechanical
Banderas.
rhino spooky house
This is
shit
great
saying
dialogue.
party Batman, but he says Dadman instead.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to refer to my father, Eric, as Dadman, basically. So, did I do that well, or
Yeah.
do I have your approval yet? Or
You know. We'll talk about that later.
Oh, I was hoping to do that now. That's the whole reason you're on this podcast.
No, this podcast is about Spy Kids.
It is now. Now that you fucking
Well, it's about
decided.
family. I'm glad
Oh,
that we
thank you.
discovered.
Ah.
You didn't know what the show's about, but you really got down to the heart of it. It's about family. It's about teamwork and leadership, and I think
Someone's got to be about that, right, Dad? Dad?
someone's got to pull the weight of this teamwork going on.
Someone's got to be a father
That's
to
why
me.
you're here.
Spy Kids is my real father.
Antonio Banderas is my real father.
Antonio, the guy who voices Antonio Banderas in Spy Kids, the animated series, is without a doubt my real father. So
He's quite the gentleman.
So Robert Rodriguez, the man behind the Spy Kids.
Dementia, that's the name of his
Dementia.
production company.
Yeah. That's the one.
Dementia.
Dementia.
Rob Rod has
Rob Rod.
Rob Rod, the man
Rob
behind.
Rod. That's awesome.
If you want to hear more of that, listen to episode 1 of
Rob and Rod
Franchise
is
Mutiny.
what we called them back in the day. Rob and Rod.
Rob Rod basically did so much with the original run. I forget all his credits in the first one, but he directed it, he wrote it,
He made the movie.
Really?
He made the theme song to Spy Kids.
Oh, not for this.
Not for
Oh,
this.
I was like,
He's
wait.
only an executive producer for this.
Okay.
No
Yeah.
writing credit, nothing. He's done with this.
I like
And,
Robert Rodriguez.
That's
I
why
think,
it's
yeah,
not
I
as
like,
dramatic.
Yeah.
It doesn't have like those really creepy scenes that don't seem like they belong in a kids movie.
Yeah.
Like that weird factory that factory assembly line where they're like building the brains and they're in like the middle of this
yeah.
big white room and he's got like
Mhm.
what are those things called, the like patches that they
Oh,
stick
yeah,
on patients
that's
for
right.
like
It's trying to connect
All
to
the even just like the making a clay model of someone's head and forcing it to fit that shape is weird.
that
and
weird
Yeah,
body
it's
horror
scary.
stuff.
Robert
dude.
Rodriguez is a sick fuck. That movie, like, genuinely,
Mhm.
it's a masterpiece, but it's kind of disgusting.
It's a good movie. I like Spy Kids. The first Spy Kids pretty good. I've just accepted that all these people who make movies are probably sickos. So I'm like, this isn't.
You know what Robert Rodriguez did in order to get his movies made?
What?
Because he made a lot of stuff in college and he didn't have any money,
Mhm.
and he used to participate in like medical experimentation and shit like that to get so that he could have money to make this stuff.
Nice, dude. My
That-
biggest hero.
That's commitment.
Mary Shelley, dude. Every day of the week.
Yep.
They seem like two people who are winning,
Yes.
just constantly.
Mary Shelley and
winning.
Robert Rodriguez.
Mary
like,
Shelley and
two-
Robert Rodriguez should have worked on this show because
They're just winning.
How
That's
how
all, that's all it's about, winning.
how old
I call it
was
winning.
she when he was born?
Mary Shelley's dead, right?
Dead.
I assume considering Frankenstein was written over like 100 years ago. Yeah, I
Are we
imagine
sure
he's
about?
probably
Do you want
dead.
to double check? Make sure she's
Yeah, fact
available.
check.
So maybe we can get her as a guest. Talk about some crazy
Talk
shit.
about some Frankenstein.
See what she's into movie wise.
He died in 1851.
Just barely missed
Now,
it.
when was Spy Kids made? Real quick.
Okay.
Can you-
2000?
2000.
I want to say.
I can't do the math there, but I'm sure
2001.
she's probably in a retirement home somewhere. It's got to be the case. That's usually where they go right after they hit 80.
Yeah.
She's got to be at least 80, right? So
She just peek over Frankenstein.
she peed over Frank.
Peek.
Just peed over.
You're an ape.
Golden Brain
Gold.
is the big bad.
Dude, a little bit I was able to hear from him. It sounded like the voice actor was actually trying, and it kind of made me feel bad because
I'm pretty sure it's Tom Kenny.
Are you
It
serious?
sounded like Tom Kenny. I was going to
Yeah.
say that too. It
He does a
sounded
few
lot
voices
like Tom
in here.
Kenny.
Ugh,
Dude, Tom Kenny,
poor Tom Kenny.
he'll do
Does-
whatever, man.
Does some of the professors' voices. You didn't get to meet any of the professors. They are very boring.
Wild.
They're pretty wild.
They are very raunchy.
very raunchy, very perverted.
It gets really weird.
Should not be around children.
This is not a kids show anymore.
It never was, dude. This was always a Danimals commercial, dude. That's what that shit
Yeah.
looks like.
Yeah, it does.
It looks like
Really does.
some of the sequences weren't even fully animated. Remember that? There was a few moments where I'm like,
I'm pretty sure there's a shot of them all flying in the sky where they're all just a bunch of PNGs on the screen against a blue sky background.
This does seem like Nick Jr. level of animation. This doesn't seem like
Not even Nick Jr. Noggin, bro. This doesn't even belong on fucking Nick, dude. Absolutely not. This is Canadian to the max. All right. I don't think Noggin's Canadian based. It might be.
You make Caillou?
Well, yeah,
3D
Caillou.
Caillou.
Caillou is a little Canadian prick, dude. Caillou sucked, man. I don't even think Caillou's Canadian. Dude, that kid was such a brat. Don't fucking tell me he wasn't.
When's the Caillou CGI reboot coming?
Oh, they need to do that. Who
You
would
see
play
his
Caillou?
big ass head in 3D.
who would play Caillou? Are you saying voice actor? Or?
No, I mean they should do a live
Live-action
action
Caillou.
They have some dude with a swollen bald head, and he's just. They should have done that with Charlie Brown, honestly. But I think Caillou's a way better. And then
Is he a full-grown adult? But he's
That would
everyone
be really
pretends
funny.
that he's a child.
yeah,
He's a full-grown
He's
adult.
dressed like a kid. I'm afraid to go to the dentist.
he's
or
like
whatever.
30.
He has
He's throwing
he has the
tantrums.
brain of a child, and he's 30 years old. Starts off the exact same way with the theme song, and then
Playing-
singing, but he, skipping along, but he's
Playing with
got a
alphabet
beard and
blocks.
shit.
So never make this movie. Never make this anything.
I really
making-
want to. Who's gonna be Caillou?
I don't. That's
We
what
need
I
to
asked.
cast it
Bruce
right now.
Willis.
Bruce Willis is Caillou. He'd be Caillou, motherfucker.
No, it's hard not to typecast bald people in this role. Can we get someone with the full head of hair? Can we get them to? I can't think of anyone.
You
who
want
could.
to go against nature and cast someone with a
Someone
full head
with
of hair
full
as
head of hair.
Caillou.
We could try it.
You think that's a
Oh,
good
you
idea?
need someone with,
Patrick Stewart.
Someone that has a lot of hair, so much so that when you put the bald cap on them,
Yes.
it just inflates.
Okay.
They look like an alien.
Weird
Yeah.
Al.
Weird Al, yeah.
Weird Al's Caillou. I can see that.
Dude, I bet if you got in contact with Weird Al, you grabbed him up and you're like, "Hey Al, you want to play Caillou in the live action Caillou?" He would be like, "Where do I sign up?" He probably wouldn't even hesitate.
Got you here for a 3-picture deal. On
A 3-picture
Caillou.
deal.
It's gonna be in 3D. Gotta see Caillou the IMAX experience.
You think? Yeah. Yeah, maybe in Canada they do that. I'm just shitting on Canada for no reason. I love everybody that's from there. I promise. Even you, Justin.
As a guarantee.
Trudeau,
Even Caillou.
even Kai Caribou. All of you. I love you. So this show sucks, man. I
So,
don't even. I
better or
haven't
worse
seen the
than
rest of
Caillou?
it. What?
Better or worse than Caillou?
Whoa.
I haven't seen Caillou. in
Whoa.
years, so
Gun to
I
my
can't-
head, I'm gonna say Caillou's worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought
You
that
did
had
not see
some
this.
horrible values for kids. I really did. I feel the same way about a lot of Disney movies, but that's,
What about Caillou and Peppa Pig?
I've not seen Pepper Pig, but I'm sure Sure tastes
It's a
great
bunch
though.
of British.
Bunch of British pigs.
Yeah.
Bunch of British cops doing a podcast.
So yeah, the rest of the show is pretty much just
Oh, hey, we're talking
Them-
Smart Kids.
yeah. The rest of Caillou,
This happens
they're pretty
every
much.
episode with him. I derail every time.
It's just he hires a new villain like DJ Auto Tune. Auto spelled OTTO and then tune, and then they defeat him in the episode, and then he's like, ah, dang it, well, I got this one guy.
I think I understand what they're trying to do with that, because that's sort of, playing off of the Ottoman Empire, right? That's
Yes,
sort of
very-
what they're trying
it's
to
very
show.
clever.
Yeah, I think that's deep.
Mhm.
That's very deep.
It's very deep.
All right, the geopolitical concerns of the old days should be always talked about, especially among kids between the age of, I imagine, 3 and 10.
And that Junie's, the name he goes by is Aztec, so I think that plays into it a little bit about different civilizations and how they function and how this team's going to function. We really need to find a dynamic that works between them, and really focusing in on how civilizations work in the past and what leaders meant to them. Are they going to go to the route of sacrifice, ritual sacrifice, to lead their groups, a directive way of commanding their followers? Are they going to lead them through fear? Are they going to lead them through a transactive?
I just want my dad to talk to me, man.
This
like,
is-
real shit. Like, I'm
This
sick of
was
talking
me-
about movies with him. I'm sick of talking about...
That
like-
was me trying to
You
sound
heard some
smart
shit
for as
about
long as
ritual
possible.
sacrifice.
Yeah, he's starting to talk about sacrificing motherfuckers.
That was me just like, someone's taking a shower.
But if they were gonna do some sacrifice, how would they go
You
about
don't
it?
know.
It sounds like you would have this one on pat, right?
Yeah,
You know how to grill a child, right? There you go.
I mean, I don't say I have experience, but
No, but I mean, it's clearly on the brain, okay? The
Okay.
gold brain, if you will.
As-
because of brain.
As a father, some would say you're a leader of the family unit. How does that function?
It doesn't.
Antonio
it sits on a
Banderas
couch.
is a foul father that can't take care of his children. Not Antonio Banderas. I can't remember what his character's name is. So I'm just gonna call him.
Gregorio.
Oh, that's rough. I'm not gonna
Like
say
the
that.
calendar?
Gregorio.
Oh.
Yeah.
And the other one.
Ingrid. Is that her name? I think that's her name.
Gregorio and Ingrid.
Yes. I mean, it's like how they are in the show. He has like the
movie.
thickest Spanish accent of all time.
He does.
And she's like,
He speaks
I'm
like
just
the
here.
Nizanek.
But he does sound like Antonio Banderas. I'll give him credit.
You okay?
I'm about to throw up, man.
About to throw up some taco butt. The other great line
Man.
in this.
Yeah,
the taco butt's
the
getting
taco
on me.
butt joke was really stupid. The whole burrito sequence at the beginning was.
Yeah.
Did he get that burrito from Taco Butt?
Breakfast burritos is definitely a motif of this. I'm not joking.
That's true.
There's quite a few scenes where they're like, "Hey, I got you some breakfast."
Some bread crispers?
some breakfast burritos. And I've rarely heard people talk about breakfast burritos as much as they do in this show.
I don't know if I agree with that, but I do agree that we do see a lot of breakfast burrito stuff going on in this.
I think it's going to play a heavy role in season 2 moving forward.
Yeah.
The role of breakfast burritos.
No, the digestion of breakfast burritos is season 2. And that's going to be messy and very poorly animated, but,
the taco butt jokes are gonna escalate.
Those don't go away.
Good. They were my favorite part of the show.
It's kind of like Kim Possible with what was the place that they had, the taco place.
Whatever.
You got this one?
No.
There's something weird racist sounding like the dirty sombrero or something.
Dirties. We got Filthy Poncho. And
Filthy Poncho. Yeah.
the Greasy Maraca.
Bueno Nacho?
Yeah,
Yeah,
see, nailed it.
Wait a second. That doesn't sound
filth.
racist at all.
Buena Nacho?
Bueno,
I mean-
like Buenos Noches? Is that the joke there? Buenas
It's
noches?
probably a pun. I don't
Buenos
know. It's a
noches.
giant
Why not?
sombrero, though. The place is a giant fucking sombrero.
It is.
Kind of like Taco
You
Butt.
can't confirm.
Would look kind of like that. I don't know why I'm bringing this up. I guess.
Well, it's spies, so it's very similar.
you're right.
influence.
I think that's what it was. Actually,
They copied
I'm
them.
pretty sure that's what I was. Where I was kind of
They got
going
it.
with that.
I can't help it.
You
Spy
guys-
Kids Mission Critical is the reboot of Kim Possible.
It's a reboot of a lot of things. I saw a lot of different things in this. I saw
This-
Buzz Lightyear. I saw fucking every Disney, Nickelodeon, and Noggin animation for a kid's show in this. Like all the weird.
This barely seems like Spy Kids. Like this is the closest we're gonna get to a Spy Kids tone. This just turns into Spy Academy, the show.
I think this is the most derivative I've ever seen the Spy Kids franchise. I think no, you don't agree with me?
Honestly, yeah.
It's not that I don't agree with you, it's that you're going into the like levels of derivative that Spy Kids is.
That's a good point. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Spy Kids 2 was derivative of like
But
the
it-
idea of Spy Kids 1 as a concept.
And then Spy Kids 3 is almost completely unrelated and just about video games, and it's nothing
They
to do
jumped the
with
shark
spying.
like halfway through Spy Kids 1. Like I don't understand how you can get more derivative than that.
All right, you know what, Eric? You know what, Dad? Fucking whatever, man. If this is your way of telling me you love me, I love you too. All right, that's how I'm just justifying this.
You can tell yourself that.
You guys seem to react the most to the idea of Junie trying to find flaws in Ace. Ace is like this Australian.
It's
It's because it was just like the cringiest part of the entire thing. Like that made me so fucking
'Cause he
uncomfortable.
was afraid of
because he
birds.
kept making the same joke over and over again.
Ace mate.
Ace mate, and I'm like,
No,
oh, here it is
Ace
again. I
mate.
wonder what he's gonna say this time
To
when he
be
talks
fair,
to the character.
the
again.
Ace Mate joke got me the second time I heard it because I
Not
was
the
just
first
thinking
one?
8 out of 8 mate, great skate with the date on the plate. You know, like that's just what it became in my head, and I was amused with.
Oh,
that.
so you added.
I added.
You
some
imagined
stuff.
your own jokes.
I would. That's how a good show works, right? A good kid's show makes you think of the jokes.
Just fades to black for a couple seconds, and on the screen it says, "Think of your own stuff."
Thinking your own shit for a minute. No, great stuff though. Great.
Best transitions I've ever seen in any children's show ever.
Yeah, it just fades to black for like a second.
It does. Instead
it's
of just like a hard cut, it was just like fade. Like it was literally a half second of from the frame to black and then back into the frame again.
And it's
the
on
weirdest
Netflix,
shit.
so there's no commercial. Like usually that's just an indication of we go to commercial.
Maybe they didn't know they were getting picked up by Netflix initially.
Dementia.
Dementia. Dementia probably was like, we'll put this on some weird network on television or some shit, and then like nobody wanted it. Not even like the little like shit tier.
Just going on
kids.
Sprout.
Yeah, Sprout. That's what I was saying. Yeah, Sprout. There's all sorts of weird names.
That's
for
why
it
they
now.
got Tom Kenny, because they're like, you could get us in with Nickelodeon,
They
right?
got
And he's
Tom
like, "No,
Kenny."
son."
Yeah, I think that's funny.
Who
Tom-
did this?
I don't know. Rod.
Only exec produce.
Well, he probably exec produced Tom Kenny. He was like, "Look, Tom, we're gonna need you to do something for this because."
There was one line that Golden Brain has that made me genuinely laugh very hard in one of the later episodes, and it's just the way he read it. It was the way he said memo. Just
How do you say it?
this is what happens when you watch like 8 of these almost in a row.
You find the funniest thing to be memo.
Just the funniest, like the smallest thing made me genuinely laugh.
Because you just want to
Yeah.
laugh. You want.
Yeah, I want to.
But it
I
has
want
a
to
name.
enjoy this. He says, "Brain Cane, take a memo," and that made me laugh. Instead of saying memo, he said memo,
I got it. No,
And
I got it.
I cried.
I fucking bawled, bro. I didn't sleep for a week.
It's like when the timekeeper says time for the 112th
Yeah.
time, and like
Like, holy shit. That one got me.
it's like too many cooks. It's like when when you're watching it for like 2 minutes and you're like, oh, this is great, and you watch it for like 5 more minutes and you're like, all right, this needs to end soon because it's getting fucking boring, and then you get to like the 10-minute mark and you're like, this is great again because it's
Yeah.
gone on for way too fucking long.
I rewound that 10 seconds. a couple times. Because this is all I had.
This is all
This is all I could.
for the summer, or what do you mean?
This is all the enjoyment I can muster out of it. Just him saying Mimo.
I'm pretty sure
Brain
there's a
King,
shot
take
in that movie where he actually like says the word time and he draws it out to be like 3 seconds long. He's just like, we're like running out of time, and then he looks like directly into the camera, and I'm like, this is the culmination of the past like 60 minutes of Spy Kids that I've been
running
watching.
out of time.
Yeah.
It's like he was like acknowledging the joke, and it was.
It's amazing.
That the plot twist in that was made me genuinely sad.
I straight up don't even remember what it was.
I've never seen this movie. Stop.
You gotta watch it.
I'm not
'cause
gonna watch this movie.
I was crying.
Yeah.
No, it was one of those weird things where everything's been so stupid and throwing vomit bags at people and saying time 120 something times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And Joel McHale just running around doing
Joel
whatever.
McHale's in this?
He's in all the time in the world.
Is he really? Is he like in it
he's
for a
married
while?
to Jessica Alba.
Oh,
He's a spy hunter.
That's so hot. All right, we're gonna watch this later. That's amazing. Joe McHale from The Soup.
And it's
Not Community.
once you
Soup.
find out what the villain's plot is, it's very sad and kind of deep, and you're just like, why is this here? Why are you
Why is this in my movie?
Why is
It's like one of those kids movie plots where like the villain is like the big bad, but if you think of what he's actually like doing, you're like, that's fucked up. Like
it's really
like if this guy wins, like it's actually all over. Like it's not even like
he's not even trying to end the world, and it's kind of a consequence of what he's trying to do. He's really trying to fix a mistake he made and connect with someone in his past, and it's
Isn't
kind
that
of
the plot
sad,
to Men in Black 3?
pretty much. But this came out a year before that.
Whoa.
Will Smith's got some
Men in Black-
explaining
Yeah,
to do.
did Men in Black 3 rip off
Copied
Spy
Rob
Kids
Rod.
4?
Rob Rod is mad.
Throbbing Rod.
He's
probably-
Throbbing Rob.
Did he make All the Time in the World? Or did he produce it?
He directed it, and
Oh
I'm pretty
my
sure
God.
he wrote it.
I've got all
That series gets.
the time in the world.
I think
It's a good song.
I think I said in the first episode, but as the series goes on, he just thinks less and less of what children can understand and handle. He just like, kids are dumb, just make fart jokes and poop.
Oh my god, kids are so dumb.
Like,
Yep.
Okay, you know what, Dad?
oh,
Try being a good parent. Maybe I won't be such a fucking moron all the time, huh?
I can't
Yeah?
control that.
No, you can. You really can, Pops. You had your whole time as a father to just give me something. You
so
had all the time in the world.
yeah, watch All the Time in the World. Don't watch this, I guess.
And don't watch this.
I do promise, watch All the Time in the World. Like it's actually
It's not-
thoroughly entertaining.
Oh, okay.
Like it's fucking terrible, but
Yeah.
it's
Is it
really
better than Spy Kids 3?
it's more entertaining than Spy Kids
Yeah.
3, at least in my
I
opinion.
think I ranked it my second favorite Spy Kids.
What?
Whoa. That's pretty hard.
Excuse you?
Favorite, not best. I think there's a.
Oh, in the same way that like Star Wars Episode 3 is like my third favorite Star Wars. movie.
Thank you.
That movie's fantastic. It's funny to watch Hayden Christensen cry on screen.
He's done it several times off screen, but we finally get to see it on screen.
Yeah.
Liar! Oh.
You're with him.
You're with him, aren't you?
You brought him here to kill me.
You brought him here to kill me. He says it weird. He like delivers that line weird. It's like he's like squeezing his teeth together. He's like, "You brought him here to kill me." He's like heaving in between it.
Okay, so you're saying Star Wars Episode 3, best Spy Kids movie out
Yeah, it's better than Spy Kids Code Co-critical or whatever.
Codename Kids Next Spy Kids.
Yes.
Oh, that's what this.
That's the
also
best. That's
reminded
the
me
best Spy Kids movie. Show.
of. Yeah,
Spy Kids.
Best movie is the Codename Kids Next Spy
that was a
Show.
good show. I liked that. That was solid ass.
creative, actual like creative villains, not like DJ Autotune and.
Why are you gonna
Never
shit
done.
talk DJ Autotune?
It's
Yeah,
really
man.
bad.
That
It's-
guy's
it's
like
really bad.
the Joker to me.
Is he the second part of Daft Punk, like the
He
Golden Brains,
pretty
like
much
the first
is.
part, and like
He puts things on like a Spotify type app and it mind controls.
does Glitch
them.
hack it and like defeat him?
She's the
with-
first one to fucking fall for it.
That's how you get rid of that. That's good writing right there. You get rid of your strongest character who could solve the problem as quickly as you can. That's brilliant.
Because she can relate.
The dumbest subplot of this.
She's the only one that understands the internet.
The dumbest subplot in the show has to be they keep doing the Ace. He's a flawed character and he's got all these quirks and stuff, like he's afraid of birds or whatever. There's one episode where Carmen is trying to catch Ace being colorblind. And it's the craziest thing.
Pretty funny.
Like, she's constantly trying to test him on whether or not he's colorblind. And that's not like a thing you try to, like, who cares? Why are you trying to be
That's
like,
funny.
haha, you're colorblind, got you.
Is this whole show just
Fucking
all the
got
characters shitting on Ace one episode after the next?
That seems like what it is, man. This seems like Ace's struggle, man. This
And
is
she's
He's just a good dude, and everyone just wants to put him down. That's what this entire show is about. It's not about Spy
trying to
Kids.
think,
Shit,
what
Australia.
else?
It's about childhood bullying or something like that.
Yeah. No, but he has at least like 4 different quirks that are
Yeah, they-
revealed.
They make fun of his
can't
accent
sing.
too. They're
Do they
like,
really?
Yeah, they
Bunch
do.
of bastards.
They said that he's like Junie said something along the lines of like, "Can you please speak American?" But not like
You said it,
not like with those exact words, but
like, are we speaking the same language, or can we speak the same language, please, or something?
you know, like, are you gonna cook this
yeah.
kid like it's nothing? Like he's such a good-hearted soul.
Why don't you talk like me? Just talk like me. It's easy. I do it all the
How
time.
can we make America great again if everyone sounds different? All right, it just doesn't work. All right, Jesus,
I'm gonna kick you out of here.
I'm gonna kick your ass, Ace.
Ace, put down
Ace
your
is
rocket
like-
launcher.
Ace is like, mate. Be a father, dude.
Is there
Seriously.
like an episode out of the next 10 where like Junie brings back a bird or something to like fuck with
Brings
him?
back a bird.
Like, does that come back or is that just like this
There
episode
is a
only?
rival team called the B team, and they have to
They're dressed
play
as
them.
bees.
I wish. I wish. I wish. No, they have to do like some sort of shitty spy games. They gotta compete with them, and one of them overhears that Ace is afraid
It's the
of
sports
birds,
festival episode.
and they just do a bird call and they scare him, and that's an accurate reenactment of that scene.
I'm glad that they bring it back. I'm glad it wasn't just a
It
throwaway
really
plot
paid off.
point.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, that is good.
Yeah, no, it all ends. I'll give a spoiler. One spoiler before we end here.
Sure.
They defeat Golden Brain.
Beautiful.
Boom. They get him.
That's so beautiful.
They what they do is they give his computer a virus, and they destroy his computer.
Was
and
it
then
Marxism?
I don't
Was
know
it
what his
cultural
plot was.
Marxism that they put in his brain?
I really don't know what his plot was. He's just like, I'm gonna take over the world, deal with it, and
The best villain plot.
They just give him a virus, and then they don't like take him in or anything. They're just like, haha, we wiped your computer, and then they just leave him in his lair. And that's the end of
They
it.
don't get the brain back.
No, they're just like they literally like, we defeated you, and then they cut to the next scene where they're all having pizza at headquarters, and it's just like, why not take him in?
To get pizza as well.
He
Yeah.
clearly committed some crimes.
What?
He could.
Well, can you charge a robot in this world? Are we going by more, Isaac
that's
Asimov
true.
rules where we're
Or is it like
against-
SpongeBob rules where like
or SpongeBob rules?
like Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy will like freeze their villains in their like secret lair and keep them captive there or something like that.
Yeah, like Flash.
They do
Why'd I
have
say
a
it like that?
Flash.
They don't freeze them. They put them in weird little cubes that don't have toilets, And they're like, see you later when we need you in a couple episodes. Don't watch The Flash. It's not great.
You know the CW one?
Yeah, don't watch CW The Flash.
I would
Read the
never watch
comics.
any show on CW. Why would I do it? I'm not like 78 or anything. Like
I
that.
clearly don't have a standards for quality. I've seen all 10 episodes of Spy Kids Mission Critical,
Yep.
so I can't. I'm up
I
for
can
any
relate,
show.
I can roll.
Dude, the character glitch. You're gonna have to take my word for it because I imagine none of you have seen it. But the character glitch is when did this come out? By the way,
This came out April 20th, 2018.
oh, it came out this year.
That's why 420 was a special day for you.
That's what you
Not
brought
'cause
this up. I completely forgot.
I completely forgot about the weed thing because it's not about the weed. It's
not
about the
weed,
kids.
It's about the kids.
It's
We gotta
about
remember
the kids. You gotta remember the kids.
Everyone was
Okay.
stoned watching Spy
I
Kids
forgot.
Mission Critical.
That's the entire point.
That was the purpose of it.
Yeah,
That's why they were.
Anyway, Glitch from Spy Kids Mission Critical is a ripoff of the character Jailbreak from the Emoji Movie.
Okay.
Jailbait? Was that the name of the character you said?
Nope.
Okay. Alright, I was just making sure.
Did you take Michael to see this movie? Why did
Are you
you
kidding
see
me?
Emoji?
You think he wants to be seen in public with me? Do you think this guy wants to be
So
anywhere
this-
near me?
This man-
I'd rather
this
be seen
father
in public
didn't
at the
really-
Emoji Movie than seen in public with
Be near me.
So let's get to ranking. It's
you. Wait, what?
from favorite to least favorite. Where would you put
In
Spy
terms
Kids?
of Spy Kids?
Where would you put Spy Kids Mission Critical?
Easily the least favorite.
Least favorite.
Oh yeah.
What's your favorite then?
For Spy Kids.
For Spy Kids,
I don't know
then
if I
Spy
can
Kids
judge.
2.
Spy Kids 2 and then Spy Kids 3 and if I'll see the fourth and depending on what I think of the fourth one I might change, but as of right now mission failure. Horrible show.
Eric, Mr.
I've
Michael's dad.
I've only seen one episode. I don't know if I can really rank it until I've seen the whole
Are you
series.
kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me right now, Dad?
Do you think-
Dadman?
Do you think it would be really unwise if someone were to rank it having only seen one episode? Like, really just unprofessional and...
I mean, yeah, like
Ignorant
there's some
almost.
first episodes
Arrogant-
of TV
arrogant
shows that are
almost.
like masterpieces, and the rest of the show is shit, and you can't like
yeah,
judge it
like
based on
that's
that.
just naive to think like, oh, I've seen one episode. Let me rank this.
Is this your guys' way of
That's
telling me I
cool.
shouldn't
What?
I shouldn't have ranked this show you asked
I'm
me?
talking to your father, sir. We're having a conversation.
Alright.
So this is why I don't come home.
Just because of that.
This was a stupid bit from the beginning.
You set it up. This is on
We've
you
helped-
100%. We could have
We've
gone
spent
with anything.
10 minutes.
Yeah, you
You
set
spent far more than 10 minutes on this joke.
We set this up.
Well,
yeah.
you set it up with 10 minutes.
I set up with 12 minutes of
Okay.
exposition.
Okay, so I'm gonna go.
You're gonna leave.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. It's been great. Have fun.
You're
I'm
gonna
gonna-
be watching Spy Kids in your room.
I'm gonna rewatch it
Well, we
again.
have to sit out here.
To answer your question, I'll say that Spy Kids Mission Critical is probably the worst.
Oh,
I
no.
can't really say until I've seen the whole
Yeah,
thing,
no,
but I'll take your word for it because I'm not going to watch the rest of it.
I'll agree. Yeah, Spy Kids 2, or no, Spy Kids 4.
Yeah.
Spy Kids 2, Spy Kids 3, and then Mission Critical. They couldn't even get like the basic dynamic of Junie and Carmen close to the dynamic in the first movie because that seemed to be the only slightly complex part of their characters is the age difference. Like Carmen was the older sister and she was kind of not happy about taking responsibility for Junie, always feeling like she's having to look out for him, and that from Junie's perspective, he feels like he doesn't have responsibility, or people think he's kind of a fuck up, and they kind of go through an arc that does not exist here. This is just
Yeah.
they're
It's just
basically
two kids that are mad
That's a good
dickish and
point.
nobody
There-
likes either of them.
There was no arc in this. Like
No.
their weird pissing contest just out of nowhere got resolved. It got resolved in like 3 lines.
I also
think.
like how they didn't gain the respect of any of the other Spy Kids, and
No.
they'd just be like,
Yeah.
if I was in that group of kids, I'd be like, why are these two like 11-year-olds
they're just
telling me
leaders
what
by
to do?
default.
Yeah.
No.
It they definitely didn't it didn't feel like they earned any of the stuff the end of the episode gave them.
They're treated as
yeah.
one character pretty much, that they're learning to be a leader, and that's their thing. There's no like interesting thing in between them. They're just like, oh brother, why are you doing that? That's annoying.
on.
Well,
Come on.
What are you doing?
What? Yeah.
Well, at least they have a
Give me back my
relationship.
burrito.
You know, some of us don't even have a father to talk to or even look at.
That was Spy Kids. Spy Kids Mission Critical. Hopefully, finally caught up. Finally completed the series.
That is until
Hopefully-
season 2.
Hopefully that won't happen. But if I don't know, it's hard to kind of critique these things because we're not really the demographic for
For
this.
Spy Kids.
I don't know. You watched it, man. You might. It sounds like you fit right in somehow.
But like if say you have kids,
Well,
Eric's
okay.
gonna relate to this. You have
barely.
a very young child,
Barely.
very naive, arrogant child,
Okay.
and
Alright.
Total piece of shit.
Wow.
burps
Alright.
constantly.
Yeah, sorry.
You need something.
Maybe if you burped me as a kid, I would
He
know
has
how
some
to properly.
he has some fucking abandonment issues. I don't know where that came from.
Would
but,
you
like,
say-
Probably
them-
from you just saying bye and then abandoning me. I imagine that's where that came from.
dude,
would
I've
you
invited
say-
you over for those barbecues like several times, and for some reason you just don't want to show up.
Because I think you're gonna cook me. All right, that's really what this comes down to, Dad. Min, is
Good, thank you.
You're gonna fucking broil me on your grill outside.
Or-
Probably whistle a tune as you do it, and God knows why you would even do that. You're a sycophant.
So the question is, would you show this to your kid? Would you be willing to be like, if your
I
kid
didn't
was
do
like,
it, but you just did. So
Yeah, wow, another person in life who had to do his job for him. Weird, right?
would you?
No, I wouldn't show this to my kid.
What if your kid was watching this, like, hey, Dad, I really like this show. It's called Spy Kids Mission Critical. You should watch it with me.
I'd probably kick his ass. I don't care how old he is, and that's just that's how I was brought up. You know,
I'd just leave.
just leave.
That's the
I should've
default,
Just said that. I would
just
just
leave.
left.
Just where are you watching TV? And then you leave. I don't know. I have
Go
half
on.
ideas in my brain that on the inside make sense, and then out the mouth don't.
It's called a disability.
Thank you, and that's what I'm really trying to say here.
I don't think you should have watched the entirety of Spy Kids Mission Critical
Yeah,
and, tried to
as someone who
and then
just
tried to do a podcast.
as someone who just met me, do you think I'm like this all the time, or do you think this is a result of these guys know the answer?
Do you want the answer?
I have a pretty good idea.
I think you're permanently broken. Otherwise, you wouldn't have watched Spy Kids Mission Critical, right? Right? I mean, you have to admit there is some psychosis in doing that, right? Yeah, there's some kind of
There's a completion.
concerning thing that maybe a psychiatrist should
Mm-hmm.
look at or discuss. You know,
Yeah. No.
Right.
I
right?
don't know if you're doing a bit right now.
I was
but
thinking I
definitely
was thinking I
think
kind of
there's some
needed to
truth in
like
there.
turn around and go home just to be safe, because like when I got here, he was like, "We're like, so I lost episode 8," and then he gave like a side smile, and I'm like, what does that
I've
mean?
seen his lips, dude. That was nuts.
And then he's like, "Well, we're gonna redo episode 8. Like, well, what are we gonna do for episode 8?" And then he just like, anyway, and I'm like, I don't feel safe anymore. I kind of want to go home because I don't know what he's got planned.
yeah, that's how I felt
And then-
about most of my
But
childhood.
but it wasn't like just, it wasn't just like a passing joke. Like you led that joke on for like we sat here for like 45 minutes.
We did. We sat on that couch for such a long time.
Before you told us what we were doing.
I was turning on my computer. To be fair, it takes a good 40 minutes for that to boot up. So 5 minutes technically.
That's such a good point. We sat there for so long, and then he was finally like, "Do you guys want to?"
I don't know how to ask people to like move or like because you guys just sat down. I was like, you guys want to?
You're like, "Oh my god, I already have my
Wanna
first
move
challenge." Asking them to
That
move
was
5
the most
inches.
Hey, you guys want to? You guys want to not sit there?
You didn't even finish the question.
No, I just.
You were like, "Do you guys want to?" And we were both like, "Oh, do the podcast."
And then
Yeah.
I just turned around and then expected people to join me. And now we're here.
Oh my
All right,
god.
I won't lie to
So
you.
could I have
I don't-
handled it better? Yes.
I won't lie to you. I don't want to talk about Spy Kids Mission Critical anymore or ever again. But
Yeah, me either.
So yeah, check it out.
don't check out Spy Kids all the time in the world, and then you'll be good.
Check out the song All the Time in the World. Great song, great jam, very good feel good pop song. I got all the time in the world.
Thank you so much for doing this. This has been. Oh, next episode next week is we're gonna go beneath the Planet of the Apes. Hope you're excited.
Well, I mean, if my dad's, not going to be there, I'm not going to be that excited. So he's going to be off again.
You're used to it. Don't cry.
Just
Thank you for being here.
thought it would be better than this.
Don't we all? It's over now.